Moving over to college basketball, a truly bittersweet moment in Elite Eight action of the NCAA college tournament last night. Louisville advanced to the Final Four, the only #1 seed to do so, but only after a horrific leg injury suffered by guard Kevin Ware, which he suffered after landing awkwardly following his attempt to defend a three-point shot. Jason Gay has a roundup of this weekend's action that really was, Jason, overshadowed by Ware's injury.
Yeah, this is usually a very joyous occasion. The Final Four, of course, is the big showcase of March Madness. You have 4 teams in it this year, of course, with Louisville, Wichita State, Syracuse, and Michigan, but everything probably overshadowed by the injury suffered by Kevin Ware in the first half of yesterday's Duke Louisville quarterfinal. Just a very strange, unusual circumstance. You don't see this really at all. You had guys who had spent their entire lifetime in basketball, never seen an injury like this. Ware went out to defend a three-point shot, was not touched, just jumped into the air, landed awkwardly, and broke his tibia. The bone actually penetrating the skin happened right in front of the Louisville bench. And, the replays are really, really brutal. And if you watch them, the thing that just jumps out at you is the reaction of his teammates. Louisville teammates just almost recoiling in fear of what they've just seen, a few of them collapsing to the ground. Just a terrible moment for the game. It turns out, however, that Ware's injury was able to be stabilized. He had surgery last night. He had a rod inserted into his leg. Prognosis is the recovery takes about a year. Hard to say, of course, so early in this process, but a clearly inspired Louisville team went on to thump Duke and now looks to be the favorite into next weekend's Final Four.
That is interesting. We were showing folks, we're obviously not showing people the injury because it is particularly gruesome, the way he fell. But what we did show people was the reaction from some of his teammates. And it happened right in front of their bench. So they were 2 or 3 feet from this happening.
Yeah.
And they, some said they even, a few of them may have vomited after he came down. Is that?
A few of them said that they were definitely sick. I know Coach Rick Pitino said that he, felt physically sick, watching what had happened unfold. And again, yeah, very strange circumstance. It happened right in front of his bench, right in front of his teammates.
It's really shades of
a rather innocuous landing, the kind of thing that happens 1,000 times in a basketball game safely. And so that's what just makes it so stirring and unusual.
Really shades of Joe Theismann. I don't know how many people remember that, but almost the same injury.
In football, not to diminish what happened to Theismann, but people are accustomed to brutal injuries in football, sadly. And I think that what's the shock of this is that basketball is a game that, people do get hurt, certainly, but usually it's from bodies colliding upon bodies and not something like this.
Yeah. Now, but let's talk about the basketball action. It's an interesting Final Four matchup. Louisville is the only #1 seed. You have 2 4s and 1 8 seed. So without Kevin Ware, are they still the favorite?
I would say so for sure. They looked very persuasive yesterday against Duke without Ware, and I think Duke's an outstanding team. They were a 2 seed. Louisville is the remaining 1 seed. I think that they're going to have, obviously an emotional push from what happened yesterday. They're returning to Kevin Ware's second hometown. He was born in the Bronx but raised in Atlanta. I think there'll be a lot of emotion circulating around that team. And oddly, they're playing what's, quote-unquote, the Cinderella of this tournament, Wichita State, which is going to its first Final Four in a very long time. That game ordinarily would be probably viewed through the prism of the Wichita State Shockers. But, of course, because of what happened to Kevin Ware, it's going to be really all about Louisville.
Yeah. Well, the good news is, like you said, the prognosis sounds like a full recovery, and he's expected to be back next year for them.
It is, yeah. No, it's a remarkable, how sports orthopedics have advanced. It's certainly going to be a long road for Kevin Ware, and who knows if he'll be able to return to the player that he once was. But I think a lot of people are going to be rooting to see him return to that stage.
Okay. Jason Gay, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.